This is BBC News School Report. I'm James. The headlines. Thousands of runners have been pounding the streets of the capital in the London Marathon. Our correspondent George was in the press tent gathering interviews with the elite runners. MCM Comic-Con took place in the London Excel, with thousands of people proudly dressing up as their favourite fictional characters and exploring their fandoms. And what educational resources are available to young people online? We'll be looking at how websites such as EduKit are helping. Hello and welcome to BBC News School Report. Record numbers finished the Virgin Money London Marathon as more than 39,000 completed the gruelling 26.2 mile journey from Blackheath to Westminster, marking the 36th edition of the race and the biggest in its history by almost 1,500 runners. The star of the race was Eliud Kipchoge, who smashed the men's course record and became the second fastest runner in its history. Jemima Sumgong provided the day's big drama, turning near tragedy into triumph as she rebounded from a heavy fall to claim the women's title. Our sport correspondent George was in the press tent with more details.
Nearly 250,000 people applied and nearly 40,000 will be running. It is expected that 750,000 people will be watching the marathon live worldwide. The course, like all marathons, is 26.2 miles. It starts in Blackheath and Greenwich and will end up on the Mile, Westminster. On their journey through the capital, the runners will go past the Royal Artillery Barracks at mile 3, followed by the National Maritime Museum at mile 6. The runners will receive a particularly huge cheer from the crowds at the Cutty Sark at 6.5 miles, as they then go on towards the Surrey Docks at 8.5. They then pass the iconic Tower Bridge just after mile 12, before entering the Isle of Dogs at mile 15. The runners pass the second tallest building in London, Canary Wharf, at mile 19. At mile 22, the participants run alongside the Tower of London. The runners then head towards Parliament Square around mile 25, followed by the final run past Buckingham Palace and end up on the Mile at mile 26 for the big finish. The elite wheelchair race starts at 8:55. Plus the IPC Athletics Marathon World Cup starts at 9, which are the two main para-athletes events. Around 68 people will be competing in the wheelchair races today, including hometown favourite David Weir and last year's winner Joshua George, who beat David in a 1-second victory. There will also be 78 visually impaired runners. How did it all go? Was it tough competing against like the hometown favourite David Weir?
Yeah, it was a difficult race. We were a big group together from the beginning, and I tried to attack many times to split the group, but David and Kurt, they always could follow me. And so, yeah, I tried it many times. I tried to make them tired a little bit for the sprint, and I was just feeling great and had a good sprint in the end.
How does London compare to other marathons around the world?
London is my hometown, so I feel at home when I'm racing on the streets of London, and I prefer the course because it's more technical than other courses around the world, and I love just racing in front of a home crowd.
How did it go today? How was the atmosphere as you were going along?
Today was fantastic. I really love coming and racing here in London. I think that because the Paralympic Games were here, a lot of fans get really excited for their elite athletes coming through. They know who we are, and they obviously know who David is, and it's really, really nice to be recognized, especially in the last few miles when you're exhausted and you're tired. It's always really nice to hear your name. It kind of gives you that little extra edge. It's definitely a tough course, but it's always great to be back.
39 participants are taking part in the elite men's race, including 13 Brits. One of them is Blackheath and Bromley runner Scott Overall, first Brit to make it into Team GB for the Rio Olympics this summer. Last year's winner, Eliud Kipchoge, will be trying to defend his title against 3 other fellow Kenyans. Dennis Kimata, the world record holder, Wilson Kipsang, the 2014 champion, and Sandy Bilwat, the 2015 New York Marathon winner. Eliud Kipchoge has won the men's race, just 10 seconds off world record time, which makes it a London Marathon record. His previous personal best was in Berlin 2015, and he certainly exceeded that by being so close to world record time. Congratulations on coming first. Just one quick question. What would you say to young people trying to get involved in the sports?
Actually, to the young people is that sport is noble. Sport is not only about competition, it's about life. Sport is about lifestyle. Sport is about getting fit and kicking out most of the lifestyle diseases. If you really concentrate on sport, then you can. This is a lifestyle. Yes, I urge young people actually to love the sport and they will improve their lives. Even if you run in the morning, then in class or in the job, then you really feel good.
Thank you. What would you say to young people trying to get into the sports?
Just keep what you're doing. I mean, I wasn't the best when I first started, but I just kept plugging away, and it's all about what you can do when you're older. Really, just keep doing the miles, keep doing the training, you'll get your breakthrough.
There are 22 women in the elite, which consists of 6 Brits. However, this year Paula Radcliffe is not part of this section. Reigning London champion Tigist Tufa has to compete with one fellow Ethiopian, Mer Tibaba, the 2015 world champion, and 2 other Kenyans, Mary Katani, the 2015 New York Marathon winner, and 2013 London winner, Pishash Jepto. What would you say to young people trying to get involved in the sport?
I just say sport's the best way to build self-confidence, give you skills for life as well. It's just a great way of bringing people together. It brings out the best in people.
Firstly, congratulations on being the first Brit home. How did it go today? How did it feel running, like the atmosphere?
Yeah, the atmosphere is absolutely incredible. You know, you hear all these stories about London having fantastic crowds, and they're not wrong. It's 4 years since I've done London, and the past 2 times I've done it, I haven't ran particularly well, so I was a little bit worried about that. But today I've ran. I'm not going to say the perfect race, because if it was the perfect race I'd give up. But I did everything I needed to do, did it right, executed my race plan, and it's just absolutely amazing that I've achieved my dreams.
Even in space, British astronaut Tim Peake is running the London Marathon on the International Space Station treadmill via the virtual reality app. He said the London Marathon is a worldwide event, so let's take it out of this world. The tagline for this year's London Marathon is 1 in a million. That's because a millionth London Marathon finisher is meant to cross the line on the mile today. This shows how far and big the London Marathon has got since starting in 1981. What was the atmosphere like around the whole route today?
Well, the atmosphere was fantastic. We were a bit worried about the crowds because the weather was a bit suspect earlier on, but the sun came out pretty much soon after we'd started, actually just before we'd started, so the crowds came out. They were fantastic as always. I think they were a bit louder than last year, certainly in places, or maybe I could just hear them better because I wasn't as nervous, but it was wonderful as always.
Overall, the London Marathon is aimed to boost British marathon running, help to raise money for recreational facilities in London, to boost tourism, and most importantly, to have fun and a sense of achievement to now over 1 million people. George, BBC News, Westminster.
Over at the London Excel, crowds of comic book fans have been congregating to meet the cast of their favourite TV shows and films at the MCM London Comic Con, as Jamie reports.
I'm here at the London Excel, where one of the UK's biggest pop culture events of the year is taking place, MCM Comic Con. The event took place from the 27th to the 29th of May, and it's a place where the UK's geek community mingle amongst each other to talk about different fandoms. And it isn't just one fandom, no, it's thousands of them, all inside one building, celebrating their love for the books, video games, films and TV shows. What is your sort of favourite thing about conventions like these?
The crowds, the reaction, the amount of people that still remember such a character as this. The fact that Star Wars is still around even after all these years.
What sort of favourite part about today at Comic Con?
It's going out scaring all the little kids. It's quite great, yeah. It's great.
And what inspired you to dress up today?
We're just as sad as everyone else that likes to dress up. We've been doing it about 10 years now, so everyone seems to like it, so that's fun. Plus we love Star Wars toys, and there's lots of Star Wars toys here.
The event includes a unique comic village where comic creators, artists, writers and of course fans can show off their work and admire other people's. So what do you enjoy about events such as Comic Con?
I just really enjoy getting to see everyone. I mean, I've been doing these sorts of things for about 5 or 6 years now, so I've got a lot of friends to see, and it's just really great to see the atmosphere and all the people come out for it. Like, there's so many people and it's such a big, you've got young people, old people, just got everyone here, and it's so nice to be here and see so many people enjoying themselves.
Fans can also collect props, replicas and toys from a number of fandoms including Doctor Who, Star Wars, Game of Thrones and Sherlock, plus the hundreds of anime collectibles that are available. Fans don't just celebrate their fandom, but they can also dress up as their favourite characters in what's called cosplay. We spoke to some of them earlier. So what has been your sort of favourite part of today so far?
Just getting photos taken, really. I'm very vain in the fact that I made this and I want to come here and get as many photos taken as I can, and fortunately it's been really popular today. So,
what do you enjoy about coming to sort of Comic Con and these type of conventions?
To be honest, it's talking to people with like minds more than trying to deal with people that don't understand us in everyday life.
And what advice would you give to people trying to get into doing cosplay?
Don't make wings like this.
Why is that?
Because I've been knocked over by so many people. Half of it's my fault, and then half of it's other people being words that I won't say on camera. No, people getting into cosplay, just go for it. Buy bed sheets because it's super cheap material, and like even if you get your mum to help you, sew something. Doesn't matter what it is, or buy a t-shirt and like paint on it.
So what's your sort of favourite part of today at Comic Con?
I think everybody coming together and knowing what they like. Everybody knows that here that we all love nerdy things, and everybody appreciates that. And you can come here and not be judged about loving that, and you can come dressed up and being silly, and everyone appreciates it, and they really do love it. That's great.
So how long did it take to sort of put your costume together?
So far, this is about 2 years work in progress. So bits and pieces here and there. Started about 2 years ago, and rebuilt, and now I'm at this stage.
Comic Con also lets fans meet the cast of their favourite TV shows, including Warwick Davis, Jess Einsberg and Peter Davison, who are all here today. Jamie, BBC News, London XL.
How many resources are available to young people, and do they know that they exist? Schools are being put under increasing pressure from the government to get exam results up with less money and with the growing population, so the internet is becoming an increasingly popular tool in the world of education. EduKit is a free website where you can find programs and opportunities for children from 5 to 19 years of age. Our correspondent Jamie spoke to Nathalie Richards, the CEO of the company, to find out more.
So first of all, what's the overall aim of EduKit?
Okay, so EduKit is a resource that schools can use, and parents as well, in order to be able to find programs and opportunities for children and young adults. So the aim is to connect young people who have needs, abilities, interests, who want to plan for their futures and find career opportunities with the services out there that can help them to do so.
And which impacts has EduKit already had on young people?
So there's been a tremendous impact, not directly from our platform, remembering that we are a service for their parents or their schools to be able to find resources, but in terms of the actual young people themselves, many are now on apprenticeships that otherwise they wouldn't have known about or wouldn't have been connected to, and are therefore building their confidence and their experience and able to go on to hopefully what will be very, very successful careers in future. There are some who've been exposed to completely different hobbies or initiatives that are life-changing in their own way, and that they have helped those young people to be exposed to different environments or to build their confidence. One particular example is around a horse riding club that helps disabled children and has other pupils who can go in and help out and volunteer with that club, and that's one where we've also seen young people really sort of thrive on that opportunity.
And finally, Educate is an online platform, so why do you think that technology and the internet are essential in the world of sort of modern education?
Oh, great question. There is such a need for, if you think about the innovation and the creativity and just how dynamic technology is, that the things that we use today, you know, iPhones and the internet 20 years ago, you know, nobody had ever really thought of. So the pace of change and the transformative nature of technology is incredibly exciting. Very, very keen to see that innovation really get embedded in education. There's certain aspects of education that have already adopted technology, and it's great when we go to schools and we see them, you know, using iPads and teaching their pupils to code and really embracing some of the latest technology. Other elements of our education are still very much grounded in the Victorian age and are desperately in need of, you know, true innovation through technology and new ways and creative ways of doing that.
You can see the full interview by clicking the button on the screen now, which includes what they're doing to tackle violence and knife crime. Plus, you can keep up to date with the latest at bbc.co.uk/school report. That's all from us. Bye for now.